Yeah.
Just like if the Dolphins were in there, make it perfect.
Yeah, I didn't prepare very well. I didn't get another quarterback, so
Yeah,
I gotta
I yeah.
gotta.
I mean, I in the dynasty league, all 5 of my quarterbacks are on bye.
Wow,
I
that's
mean,
shocking.
2 of them are backup, but yeah.
Is week 13 normal for buys? Like, do people have buys in week 13 in the past?
No, because it wasn't. They added week 13 when they added the year.
And
They
there's a
used
week.
to. They used to not separate the buys this much.
Uh,
Yeah.
They have week 14 buys, I think. Hold on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Week 14 is the final week. Yeah, which is the playoffs.
Yeah. You should
Crazy.
get everybody to vote to change that.
We can't change it now. We can't change that now.
Why not? Get a vote.
what teams are
Power of
on
the people.
buy?
You
I
can't
would
just change
literally I would literally
that.
change a score of a game if everybody was anonymously voted on it. It's not going to happen,
100%.
but
Yeah, if
yeah.
100% people vote, I'm not going to vote for that. I'm in first place.
You're not going to vote for playoffs next week?
No, we
You
have
you have
playoffs.
do you have a
We have
bye?
playoffs this week. I probably will. I don't
I
know.
don't think you do cuz
I'm in first place.
I know I don't think there's buys in this league.
Oh,
Do you think
there
you're
is.
playing?
No,
There
there
is?
is. Oh
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, it's just
Don't
the
worry.
Cardinals and the Commanders, so that's not that big of a deal.
For week 4. Oh, for week 14.
yeah.
For week 14. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
it's
nobody
not gonna
cares about
happen.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Sam
If you
Howell.
are in the playoffs with those players, then you don't deserve to be there.
I'm in a 2 QB league that and I have Sam Howell as one of my quarterbacks, who's a great 2 QB guy that I'll have to bench.
He's
So
a QB1. He's
yeah,
top 10. I think he's top 5.
but he's hard. He's one of those guys who's hard to know who to start
Yeah,
sometimes.
like Lamar
Um,
Jackson.
Trevor Lawrence is the decision that I've been having to make.
Always don't start Trevor Lawrence. That guy
No,
stinks this year.
he's locked and loaded now.
Was he like QB 22 on the season?
Oh, he's so bad.
I bet
I
Kirk Cousins is still higher than him.
I had a story for him I was saving for the podcast, so we don't have to get into
Oh,
it yet. But
gotcha.
unless we're already recording.
I
Probably.
started recording, but yeah, I can do the intro. Welcome back to the Softest Fantasy Football Show. We're talking about fantasy football already.
Yeah,
Got
Chris, put your pants on.
Chris,
Yeah.
Corbin, and Calvin
My
back
pants
at
are
it.
always on.
My pants are on too. It's cold, so I needed to wear
I'm a-
I
pants.
I'm a-
just, yeah, it's cold. It's like 50 degrees outside.
It's 27 right now.
It's like the decreasing technology in our headsets.
Huh?
Starting. I
What?
said I like the decreasing technology in our headsets.
Oh, yeah, like I have a headset on. Chris
Right.
is
And
wired.
then me and Chris. And we need somebody like with the thing and being like, hey guys.
And then just a telegram. Just...
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Someone carving into stone. All right, so what do you got on the docket for us, Mr. Calvin? You gonna introduce Christopher to everybody?
this is Chris. He's in a lot of leagues with me and Corbin. I think you're in almost every league we're in. At least
Chris
the ones
is
I'm
the
in.
Chris is the Texans of our fantasy football, where for a long time he's been really, really bad, and then all of a sudden he's a force to be reckoned with. So out of nowhere.
I like the Lions comparison better, but I've been building and building and have a very expected success that I'm having this year, unlike the surprise success of the Texans. I'm having the expected success that the Lions are having. That's
I don't
the
think
Years of
anybody
practice.
expected it though.
I mean, I expected it.
I think people. Sorry, if we're talking about the Lions, I think a lot of people did think they were going to be great this year.
Yeah,
But
just like me.
no. Only the Texans believed in themselves. Nobody was like,
I see what
no
you're saying.
sports pundit were like, Here come the Texans, top 5 offense in 2023.
So,
Nobody.
are you guys making the playoffs in most of your leagues?
I am. I will make the playoffs except for I'm not eliminated, but there's 4 leagues that I'm on the bubble, which is no bueno.
Right
Thank
now,
goodness for divisions, though.
I'm only in one league that has divisions.
Yeah,
I don't know how many
'cause
you're in.
the 4 that I'm sucking in all have divisions. That's the only chance I have for making the playoffs.
Win your division.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
no, not even win the division. It's just I just need to be better than 2 people.
mm,
That's not as hard. In the other divisions that are on the other side definitely have the better teams. So it's nice for me.
right now, I'm slated to make all 9 playoffs in the leagues that I'm in.
Wow.
Nice.
But one of them that we're all in, wish they were better league. The one that I'm
Yep.
the one that I'm just destroying people in right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
8 people of 10 make the playoffs. So I don't know who
Wow.
set that. I don't know who set that up, but
That's not good.
everyone's making the playoffs in that league.
Nice.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
So there must not be a bye week.
um it starts that one starts in week 14 and
Yep.
there's no buys. Yeah, just
Yep.
everybody makes it.
No perks for being first place.
Correct. That's
Well,
right.
2
If I
people aren't going to make it. Calvin's not going to make it.
In which they were better, I'm gonna make it.
Oh, so you think you're elite? That's the one that
Oh,
you're.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm done in that one.
Yeah. Yikes.
That one's been brutal. I've
That one's tough.
definitely. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this many leagues next year. It's been tough to keep track of this many leagues.
Yeah. Well, some of your teams were so bad you should just like give up and focus on the other ones because
Yeah, that's probably true.
you had. Okay, so we did this earlier, Chris, but do you have any like totally nailed it calls that you had in the beginning of the season and totally wrong, like
Totally with.
atrociously?
I mean, what I nailed was David Montgomery and Amon Ra. I got Amon pretty much everywhere, and David Montgomery was MVP.
Yeah.
And as long as he's been healthy, he's helped me win games. And I've got both of them in almost every league. And
I think what's nice too about his injuries are like he's definitely out. Like it's
Yeah.
not an option of like is he gonna play? Is he not gonna play? It's just like I'm out for 4 weeks. Go find something else.
Yeah.
I think it's harder having it the other side or like Jonathan Taylor, which we'll get to that later. But
Yeah. That sucks. But
what was your big whiff?
my big whiff is in one league I picked Waller and Daniel Jones as a stack. I was like, these guys are going to be great.
Yep. Kittle and Garoppolo.
Oh my gosh, they are just. I mean, I've pretty much lost a league or might lose a league just because of that. So
Did you like? Because I believe the same things that you did, but I was also like, hey, you can get Daniel Jones in round 15, and you can get Bellinger like whenever you want.
yeah, it was a 2 QB league, and so I took Daniel Jones way too high, and then I was targeting Waller in most leagues in like that middle tier tight end range. And
Right.
I didn't get him everywhere, but I tried, and in
Yeah.
that league it did not work out.
Right.
So those were probably, and then Devonta Smith was like just a huge win. Like I thought he was going to be great. He had more receptions than AJ Brown last year. I think he was 100 reception year, and this year he has been terrible. So,
yeah, he's definitely taking a step down.
Like I think he's startable now, but he's still not somebody that you would expect to score 20 points. Like he has, he doesn't seem to have a ceiling. So
yeah,
those are some of my whiffs.
Yeah, those are bad whiffs.
Yeah, but Amon Ra. I mean, Connor's tried trading me for Amon Ra like 20 times across all the different leagues, and I keep Like, I don't know why he doesn't realize that I'm a Lions fan and he's
Right.
my favorite player and he's the best. Like,
now would be the perfect time to take advantage of you if someone else had Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like,
yeah,
you'd probably trade like Brian
Mhm.
Robinson and DeAndre Swift for Amon-Ra right now for the fandom.
That's right.
Yep.
You know, I'd do anything for Amon-Ra
All right.
in Dynasty.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Amon-Ra is your Justin Jefferson, is my
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson. Yep.
I probably wouldn't trade him straight up for Christian McCaffrey. Like, it's just
Yeah, wow. But if you
I'll-
have McCaffrey, would you trade? Oh, you saying you wouldn't trade for him?
No, I would choose Amon-Ra over McCaffrey. So if I had
Oh,
McCaffrey,
wow.
I would, I might trade him straight up.
In a,
I don't have McCaffrey anywhere. So
Yeah. I have a surprising amount of McCaffreys for how much shit talk I had in the beginning about running backs and
about running backs,
picking running backs number 1 overall.
yeah, he's been a home run.
Yeah. Well, the biggest one, because there's not a lot of homers, is Brian Robinson. If you're like a Washington Redskins fan or Commanders, then you probably got him in your league, and I think he's running back 6 on the season. Like, stoked.
And it's tricky when you see him in the sleeper app. It just says B Robinson, and you're like, is that Bijan or is it Brian? And I'm not sure which one do you want it to be. I don't know.
Right.
I think I want Bijan lining up against me, not Brian Robinson.
Right. It is crazy. I do, I should have put more into him because, like, he was going to be the next, like, Saquon Barkley, giant-thighed monster running through the field, and then he got shot. And then he still came back and played, like, 4 weeks later, and, like, he was just okay, and everybody was like, oh, this must be the player that he is. And everybody wasn't thinking about, oh, yeah, this guy had a bullet in his leg, the thing he's using for work. And, like, he might be awesome the next year. None of that came into my head. I was like, Brian Robinson, that guy stinks. He's slow and, like, yeah.
I think it was also on the Commanders too. Just like block that team out of your head.
There's a tank that comes with playing for the Commanders.
Yeah,
like
Terry
McLaurin.
Remembers you're a team.
Like Terry McLaurin is an all-star, but not for Commanders.
No, my sneaky take for 2024 is Justin Herbert is gonna be terrible. Like, so bad, because Keenan Allen, there's no way he can play again next year. If he does, he's going to be Julio Jones.
That's ages.
And then, it is 100%. He's going to be 32 partway through the season, or 33.
Adam Thielen this year.
Right. He's already started to turn back into a toad. Because it's a long season. And Mike Williams, is he even going to be able to come back next year? And then who's he going to be throwing to?
Maybe they'll get another first-round draft pick.
And Austin Eckler will be 29 or something like that. So
yeah, he's fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
What if they get Bill Belichick? I heard that the
that'll make it worse.
Chargers are going to get
They'll run the ball more. I mean, they should fire their coach. That's 100% factual.
Calvin, pay attention. This he's just setting everybody up to not draft Herbert, and then Corbin's going to come in and draft Herbert everywhere.
Yeah,
so
that's also
just a big setup.
I also have
Justin Herbert's a running quarterback.
I have him in Dynasty, so he's probably setting it up to trade me something.
Juicing up the trades.
Just a big trade setup.
I got Josh Dobbs for Justin Herbert.
So, do you guys have how are you going into the playoffs? What's your strategy that you do use?
Play my best players.
That's what I have. That's what I have on my list. Start your best dudes.
So
you don't look at matchups at all? Like if you're playing,
there are very few leagues where I have this guy on my bench is close to comparable on, like, especially in the leagues that I did well. So, like, I'm not starting Gabe Davis. He's not tricking me in the playoffs. I'm not doing that, right?
Yeah.
But my options to start against him in most leagues is like DJ Moore. So I'm just picking DJ Moore. I did pretty well. Like, I did awesome in the leagues that I'm doing well. The leagues that I'm not going to make the playoffs in, I wasn't really having a lot of decisions because, like, Tajay Spears might be my best bench player. And so then it's like, I guess these are my starters.
So that sounds like you're playing like you're not playing boom bust players. You're playing more consistent players.
Right. I mean, there are sometimes I know Chris has one team that is definitely this where I'll go in at looking for trades and then I'll like click on a player and I'll be like, oh, who else do they have for me to try and go for like a 2-3 or something, and I'll be like, wow, this is a really good team. Like, I don't know who they would just give up, and I don't know that I could pair two people off of this team for one person off my team that I'm trying to trade. Like, they're all too decent of players. And then other times I'll go in and I'll look at a team and it'll be like, there isn't anything that this person could give me that would make me want to move anybody off of my team. And it's really strange how that can happen.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, in softest league, I have Tank Dell, who like he's someone, him or James Conner. That might be like see how they've been trending. Tank Dell seems to be dependent on the rest of the other wide receivers. I'll probably just keep starting him.
Corbin, could you move your mic? It's your nose is blowing it into your.
How's that?
Sounds like it's
better.
windy there in
Yeah.
Orlando. But for the most part, I'm probably just going to start Tank Dell everywhere, because he's
I think
awesome.
Tank Dell's probably been way better than James Conner season wide. I think it's also like, are you running back heavy? Or are you wide receiver heavy?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, like in softest, it's great. I've got Mostert and Kyron Williams. And then, so it's really my two flex spots. It's Tank Dell, Jerome Ford, or James Conner, or like, do I want to risk JSN or Christian Watson? Like, probably
Right.
not.
Right.
Like
So you're
those,
probably just playing those other three, and there's
yeah,
not options to. Right. I mean, I would say it would, like, if you're going into the playoffs and you're like in the bottom, you're a 6, 7, 8 seed, then you probably want to lean wide receiver heavy because you're probably in a matchup that you're like more likely to lose. So you gotta hope that a wide receiver, a wide receiver's got a puncher's chance of catching a 70-yard bomb for a touchdown. A running back, like, if your running back's good or not. They're getting work
right.
or they're not. Like, you're not starting Alexander Madison and being like, this guy might go off for 30. Is never. But if you're like, oh, I just need 10 points from somebody, then you're putting in people like that. Then you'd put in James Conner.
Yeah. I think the only other thing to think about is defenses. Now I have the Browns also, which is I don't have to think about it. But in most
Right.
of my other leagues, I'll probably be stacking a couple of defenses, and that's
Getting
about
ready
all.
for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's about all you really can do other than just playing normal. Like
Yeah,
look at the defensive matchups and try and get those before other people do. But
that's a good tip.
everything else is just play like normal. Look at waivers.
Right.
Like there still might be waiver people out there, as surprising as
Zach
it
Moss
might
is a big
seem.
one. I don't, Jonathan Taylor's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks with his thumb surgery, and that's rolling into your playoffs. And Zach Moss was the best running back in football for a few weeks. So,
Yep.
yeah, that could be big for people.
I don't know. I don't know who else right now, but I'm gonna keep my eye on the waivers and see
Yeah, yeah.
who's out there.
The
I dropped Christian Watson into the waivers in one league
Yep,
because I was so frustrated with him, and I don't know if anybody picked him up or not, but like
yeah,
people like him might be out there.
right, yep. The Do you play any defense? Will
Oh.
you grab a quarterback and hold him just because you know he's the best option on the QB spots?
I don't trade for that reason. Like let's say
Yep.
somebody wanted to trade me for CJ Stroud. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Probably not going to do that if they're coming for me in the playoffs.
Yeah. I guess it depends on what you're getting in return.
No, because you're playing defense.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know which league that's in.
Corbin's sending a trade right now.
Right?
That's another thing. Like keeping track of your opponents in 9 leagues. That's like a 3-hour job.
Yeah, it's pretty constant. And I think I missed for the first time all season a spot. I left somebody in a tight end spot that was Luke Musgrave was an IR.
Well, he was like an hour before the game or something crazy like that.
Yeah, but also I still scored 200 points in that league. Like
Right.
I didn't need it. I didn't need it.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man.
So we had a side bet. We have a couples league, and one of the couples in there, we did a side bet at the beginning of the year that like total wins and losses of couple versus couple, the loser would throw a Super Bowl party. And so this last week, which is our playoffs don't start this weekend, but next weekend. But this most recent weekend, I played against her, who she is in first place, never done fantasy football. Now she walks around the house and talks shit like she knows better football than her husband and, rubs it in his face. He is in 7th place with only 4 wins. And then Carly and I both had, let's see, we both had 6 wins. So we were tied this week. So going into this, if he did a sweep, there was no chance of the other team being able to kind of overpass the other. But if we split it, the next week would basically be the playoffs, and I beat her by 1.5 points, and
Nice.
she was ecstatic. So now she's I think she's 9-2 or 10-2. I mean, she's done awesome this year,
Wow.
and
But now she has to hit the Super Bowl party. But you don't have to do that.
Yep. And winners get to invite anybody. So,
Ooh,
yep.
nice.
You want to come to the Super Bowl party?
Where is it? Is it in Orlando?
It's in Dallas.
Oh, it's in Dallas.
I don't know, actually. They get to pick where it is. I'm pretty sure it's in Orlando.
Okay. Yeah. I would like to come.
Think about it. Just show up.
Yeah.
Put out flyers at your work.
There you go.
I can invite anybody.
So you guys.
All right, what else did you have for
I was gonna see if you guys had anybody you definitely know you're keeping next year in the keeper league, or who you're definitely not keeping that you kept last year.
Justin Jefferson in the 13th round. I'm keeping him.
You are keeping him, not
For
dropping
sure.
him because he didn't play that much this year.
Yep.
That's the one tough thing about our keeper league is you're just reminded every year of certain mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
One of those was I drafted Jefferson, and then in this league and dropped him.
Dropped him. Yep.
But I traded, and I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was 4 years ago. I traded Jonathan Taylor to Connor for Tyreek Hill.
Oh, nice.
So I have Tyreek Hill. He's been my go-to guy, and he's one of the main reasons I'm in first place. So I'm definitely keeping him. And then, what's the rule with waivers in our league? Can you keep people that come off waivers?
You can keep them with the 16th pick.
And can you only keep one, or can you keep 3 and go 16, 15, 14?
No, you have to have a 16. So you can trade for another 16th round pick, but it's got to be in the 16th.
It's got to be 16. Okay,
yep.
Got it.
Yeah, you can't do like if you drafted somebody in the 7th, keep them in the 5th. It's the tier they were drafted in, or the one before it.
I'm gonna have to go trade for some 16 rounds.
It's harder than you think. Like, it's really hard to get a 16th pick because I had the issue. So this is what I strategically did. I have had Justin Herbert in the 16th round, but then if I get somebody new, I'm stuck with I got to try and trade for a 16th round pick. So the following year, I kept him with a 15th round pick because he was a 16th round pick from the year before.
Smart.
So you can slowly move your guys up, but it's, I mean, what is this? This is our 4th year playing this one. Nobody wants to trade a 16th round pick because they all have like oh, I picked this guy up off of waivers and hopefully he turns into something, and then look at the value you get.
I bet half the league doesn't know that rule that we just talked about.
Well,
Yeah.
half of the league is wouldn't know where to find the trade button either, and it's the same half, so you can't trade with them for the 16th round.
That's funny.
Yeah. Like,
also
I'm like,
keeping-
hey, like a good one, I'm going to struggle with this. Do I keep Tajay Spears? Is he going to be the starter next year?
In our keeper league?
Right.
What other running backs would you keep?
Well, so I'll keep Jonathan Taylor, right? So I'll keep him. And then I have Rashad White, Alexander Madison.
Oh, and Tajay Spears. Yeah, there's not like a solid number 2 there.
Right. So I'd probably keep Tajay Spears. I'd probably keep Justin Herbert. So then, like, I think I keep Rashee Rice. He's a 15th round. You know, he is hopefully Patrick Mahomes' number 1. You know, it's seeming like that the last few games, but, like, does he just turn into Marquez Valdez-Scantling next year?
Do they go trade for?
You can keep him in the 15th, even though he got dropped and you picked him up. Because he got drafted in the 15th, but he got dropped.
Yeah, all that matters is where he was drafted.
Because you drafted JSN in the 7th round, and I have
Me?
him. No, Calvin. Calvin drafted JSN and then dropped him.
That was
So
a
I have
mistake.
him. But I don't think I'm going to keep him because
His 7th round is tough.
Well, I have Amon-Ra and Tyreek, and so like, and then Tank Dell. Like, I'm going to keep Tank Dell if I can over JSN. Like,
right.
I'm probably going to do that.
Right. And it's like, I rather, like, obviously you want to keep Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I try to keep most of my picks in the higher rounds. So, like, do I keep Gabe Davis in the 7th round? Probably not. But I don't know. Like, I'm kind of hoping Stephon Diggs requests a trade or something like that. But then I have DJ Moore in the 3rd round. Do I keep him?
3rd
do I
round?
just draft?
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
Because he's wide receiver 6. And he's 26 years old. So, like, he's probably going to be good next year. You keeping Tyreek Hill. Where is he drafted?
2nd round, but, dude,
right.
It's so worth it. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
like,
except for the steroid bust that's going to happen.
Until anything happens, until he is not playing.
Yep, him and Will Fuller have the season of your life. Get caught with steroids. Practice squad.
Ooh, I got Puka Nacua in the softest league.
What did you draft? He's a waivers, probably.
Yeah, waivers.
Right? Yeah. Yep. So, do you have any other waiver contenders, though?
I don't think so.
Do you keep him? Is he a fraud? Maybe just be a fraud.
Well, if Cooper Kupp's dead next year, I think he's going to be great next year. So,
yeah, I mean, probably. But is Matthew Stafford going to be their quarterback?
They got Carson Wentz.
I bet they wish they had Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any other waiver wire contention people.
No, that's easy.
Yeah.
Also, you need to do better on the waivers, Calvin, if that's all you have for waiver wire contention.
I mean, it definitely. Oh yeah,
I have Trey McBride on waivers, but I would
that's awesome.
absolutely keep. But I have too many good players. Like, I can't keep him.
Well, you got to trade him.
You
Trade
want
him up.
to Calvin? You want to trade for Trey McBride?
I do have
I
Kyler
have
Murray.
Nah.
I have C.J. Stroud in that league too.
Oh man, did you waiver wire for him?
Yep.
Dang.
Well,
Really? No one
Luke dropped
drafted.
him.
No one. No, someone had to have drafted C.J. Stroud.
Nope. Waivers was the first pickup added by Luke, and then dropped 2 weeks later.
Man, he was. No one thought he was going to be good.
No, just like you. We already went over this. He believed in himself.
Oh, that's funny.
He was like, Bryce Young, who? I think what's crazy is Luke picked him up, and then he scored 9 points, and then I can't tell, but it's October 19th. So he held him from October 2nd to October 19th. That's 2 weeks. And then CJ Stroud scored 19, 23, 24, but he dropped him somewhere in there, and I can't imagine why. Like,
Yeah,
anyways,
Wasn't paying attention.
yeah.
Would be my
I guess he maybe needed to pick somebody up and was like, I don't need 3 quarterbacks. But
right.
well, he's on my team now, so happy days. And Luke's team stinks. He could use C.J. Stroud. He's got Justin Fields scoring 8.5 points for him.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I have him in a couple leagues.
Yeah, I tried to get him in a lot too.
Yeah,
Mistake.
he was part of my plan.
Yeah.
Everywhere was Justin Fields and bust.
My consistent, I think in 5 leagues I drafted Quentin Richardson as my starting quarterback.
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. Yep. And that has hurt me a lot because now I'm starting. Then I was starting like Matthew Stafford and Zach Wilson. Like it's so sad. So sad.
You know what? I think I have him in this league. Yeah,
Which league?
Anthony Richardson
Yeah.
in softest on IR. So
Yep.
I have to.
'Cause
You know what? I totally forgot about that. I might consider keeping him over.
Right. Because you were
Allen.
pumped in the beginning. You're like, oh, this guy might be sneaky the best quarterback in football this year, fantasy wise.
Yeah,
And
he looked incredible.
then he got concussed out of the league, and yeah.
Yeah, I've got Josh Allen in the 3rd round, so maybe I don't keep him. Maybe I keep.
Right.
But I don't know. Josh Allen's pretty good.
Josh
Yeah,
Allen is
especially
pretty
last
good.
week. That was
Yeah, what would you do? Would you keep Josh Allen in the 3rd round or Anthony Richardson in the
No,
whatever
because I
round
don't
you
like
were?
to keep people in the early rounds.
7th round?
Anthony Richardson in the 7th. No, I'd rather keep C.J. Stroud in the 16th.
Yeah, that's better.
I saw
I'll
this
trade him to
meme
you.
of to build the worst quarterback, and it was one of them was Anthony Richardson's ability to slide was like
Yeah.
was one of the characteristics.
Stat lines. Yeah. Yeah. Jeez.
It's getting murdered by people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else. You guys have anything else you guys want to talk about?
Do we have an Atlanta Falcons update on top offense in the league?
I mean, they're top of their division, so that's pretty great.
What is this bet? What's the bet?
That
He bet that the Falcons would be a top 12 offense this year.
Top 12.
It's impossible. Other teams would have to get negative points through the rest of the year. The
Yeah.
Falcons could score the exact same amount of points that they've been scoring, and they wouldn't get past them.
I did
That's how bad
predict.
they are.
I did predict that they were going to be good, like they're the top of their division, but not offensively.
That's saying nothing in that division.
No,
Yeah.
that whole division is terrible. I mean,
It is.
and me and Corbin are living in it down here in Florida and Georgia. Like these teams are so bad. They're almost as bad as the Bears and the Vikings and the Packers
The Patriots
and the
being
Patriots.
the worst of them. Yeah.
Patriots are getting
I really
Caleb
hope-
Williams.
I hope the Bears are getting Caleb Williams, right?
Maybe.
Don't they have the Panthers pick?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're getting the first and the second round. I mean, first and second overall pick.
Maybe the
There's so
Patriots
many
That
good
get Justin
quarterbacks though.
Fields or something.
The Patriots will have a good pick, and there's going to be like 10 good quarterbacks coming out.
I don't want a quarterback. I want a defensive player, and then I want to suck just as bad next year, and then I want to get a great running back, and then I want to be like a 3-win team, and then I want to pick a quarterback. That's what I would like to do strategically. Like the Washington Redskins, or that's when they started that process, right?
Yeah.
And now they're the Commanders in command of their future. That's how they built the team. They could have done better with maybe like
Their
not
quarterback.
Jahan Dotson or no, their quarterback's
No,
decent.
he's good.
The yeah, I don't know, because I feel like offensive line you just get like lucky, and then the rest of the guys though you can be pretty like the defensive players that go in the first four picks are usually like game changing defensive players. I want one of those guys, and then get a running back that can just run like, hey, let's pick Nick Chubb instead of Sony Michelle next time, like something like that. And then we get a decent wide receiver in a trade. Maybe Jalen Waddle wants to move on, or T Higgins, and then let's pick a quarterback. I don't want my quarterback, who might be good, throwing to 33-year-old Kendrick Bourne was our best wide receiver. That is not cool.
No.
Like, terrible. It's. I don't know that he's ever going to recover professionally this season. His confidence has to be
Kendrick Bourne?
shattered. No, Mac Jones.
Oh, Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones might be the best quarterback in the NFL.
Oh
playing
no
with
way.
playing with the trashiest catching group in football. Like, these guys aren't even practice squad players.
He's definitely getting a lot of good practice answering hard questions and interviews afterwards. Like,
Yeah,
what are you going to do now, Mac Jones?
right.
We're just going to keep practicing and
Yeah,
try and do better.
I'm gonna start a pizza shop in New Jersey.
Uh,
Oh,
I did have one thing, Calvin. You had asked about Dynasty Keeper advice going into the end of the year
yeah.
in prep for this. And I do have one piece of advice for anybody that's listening, especially in our leagues. Because I don't know if anybody watches this outside of our leagues. But here's the best piece of advice is don't fall into the Clinkscale trap. Clinkscale brothers, they come for you. They say, this person's been bad 3 weeks in a row. Trade him to me for nothing. Or they'll say, you need somebody 1 week. Here, trade, give me some assets for next year for 1 week of value.
Yeah. Or I'm
The,
losing this
Don't fall
trade.
for it.
This-
Don't fall for it.
the in yeah, it's funny because as much as you feel like that's a warning, the people, it's kind of like girls with bad boys. Like, the girls that find out that a guy's a bad boy and then go and talk to him or make it that much easier for the bad boy to be bad. You telling everybody not to trade with because there's danger around it just draws the bad traders to me. They're just like, oh, I bet I could take advantage of them. I bet I could change them. And then they come up and they're like, hey, what do you think about this trade? Oh, man, I listen too much on that. Except, and then that's how it happens.
That's funny. Like, there's like Trevor Lawrence is an example. I don't know if you would have traded for him, but in a 2 QB league, I tried trading him straight up for Jared Goff. Could not do it. I tried trading him for Will Levis and Jalen Warren. Couldn't do it. Which, thank God, those both would have been terrible trades. I think.
You have Goff?
No. I have Trevor Lawrence. I was trying to get rid of him and get a startable quarterback.
Oh.
I almost traded him away, Trevor Lawrence away, for Will Levis and Jalen Warren, and I couldn't do
We-
it.
You
Oof.
know what's weird? Yeah, that guy should have traded the Jalen.
Well-
Well, is it a dynasty league?
It's a 2-keeper league. Like you keep
Oh,
2 people.
yeah,
One,
no.
no.
So no, the guy with
But-
Jalen Warren is an idiot.
But that's just how bad Trevor Lawrence felt 2 weeks ago before he went off, because he hadn't scored
Yeah.
20 points all year, and then
Really?
he went off for 34 and then 26, and he's looking locked and loaded.
Zay Jones seems to be like he has decent games when Zay Jones plays. Even though Zay Jones doesn't always do well, there's something
Right.
about him and the way he stretches the defense that allows Trevor Lawrence to not suck. So maybe they should get a healthier, younger version of Zay Jones next year.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks for the Lighthouse trades.
The White House. Oh,
Yep,
you're welcome.
Yep. appreciate it.
Don't come for me, Connor. Just
How about it?
sometimes I think Connor just puts in trades hoping that I'll fudge the accept instead of
Yeah,
decline.
slip in just
Like he has to decline this, and he
Yeah.
might accidentally hit accept. So I'm always
Yeah.
like, "Bro," you know.
Oh man. Speaking of trades, I can't believe I got by CJ with that
Oh,
Kirk Cousins and Darren Waller trade.
What did you do? That's who you got
Yeah,
for who?
right after Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles.
After
Yeah, because
he traded Kirk Cousins to you after.
no, I submitted the trade like on Friday.
Oh. And you didn't
Yep.
take it back.
I didn't take it back. That is my big slip up from playing in too many leagues this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think
You got to
it's-
put a timer. You got to put a timer. That's you just
Right.
have to use the timer feature.
Well, the problem is like I
Come
guess
on.
with CJ, I know he's gonna see it, but yeah, it was Kirk Cousins and Darren Waller. Some people I feel like don't check it every day, so I sent him a first round pick and 2 rookies for that.
Yikes. Darn.
I was excited for it when I was getting the number 1 quarterback in fantasy. When I was offering it, I was like, I don't need this first round for the win. Yeah.
Yikes.
Gotta use that
Yeah.
timer. Well, I'm excited to win Softest League this year. Corbin,
Yeah.
you prepared to pay everybody all these leagues?
Well, yeah.
That's a lot of money.
How's your Venmo account just loaded?
Right. Yeah. I still have like I never went through and made sure everybody paid me, so I still need to do that.
Oof.
Because people definitely lie 100%. It's like really like this is an arrow where I can go back on my phone and see exactly what happened. I didn't get cash from anybody, so yeah. So I'll probably pay everybody like in July. All right, good night.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us, Chris. Should do it again soon.
Anytime. Glad to be here.
All right.
Glad you're better.
See you later.